my finals or whatever. Flight lands at like 3 p.m. And I walk out past security, do the usual look around for your person thing, but it's just a crowd of randoms, parents, couples, whatever. People with those signs, you know? I stand there for a bit, phone in my hand, trying not to look like a lost kid. But after like 15 minutes, I'm still just standing there. No texts, no missed calls. I open the group chat, nothing. Check my phone battery, still good. So I start calling. One call, no answer. Two, three. By the time I hit six, I'm literally just pacing by the rental car shuttle with my bag digging into my People keep walking by giving me that look like they're trying to figure out if I'm waiting for someone or just got ditched. I try my sister Sabrina. She's usually glued to her phone for TikTok or whatever. Nothing. Try my dad Sergio. Just straight to voicemail. I hear this little girl next to me say to her mom, "Why is that guy just standing there?" Kinda wanted the sidewalk to swallow me at that point, but whatever. I keep calling. I'm up to 12 attempts and I'm now sitting on the curb outside scrolling Insta just to look busy, like I meant to be there. Group of college kids walks by laughing and I feel like the world's biggest idiot. I even texted Wade, my older brother. Not that he ever answers me unless he needs something. Finally, like an hour after I landed, Sabrina actually picks up. I just say, "Hey, where are you guys? I'm outside." She sounds annoyed, like I'm interrupting. She just goes, "Can't you Uber? We're kind of busy right now." I ask, "Busy with what?" And she goes, "We're celebrating Wade. He actually did something with his life, you know?" Then hangs up. I sit there for a minute, just holding my phone. I get this text from my mom, Marilyn. She literally writes, "You want attention? Try not being a disappointment." She sends it with a thumbs up emoji. I'm not kidding. I stared at that for a while, just thinking, like, is this a joke? Is this really happening? I was just out here with my duffel bag freezing, watching all these other families hugging it out, loading kids into cars, people having those dumb little fights about where to eat. I sat there until the sun started going down, trying to decide if I was overreacting or if this was, like, the last straw. So, background for anyone wondering, this isn't a one-off. Wade's always been the golden boy. He's older by 2 years, played soccer, got that handshake down from dad thing, always brought home trophies, you know? My parents always compare us, not even subtle about it. Wade's ambitious. Wade's a leader. Wade's doing real estate. I'm the smart one, but lazy, according to my dad. Whenever I did anything good, it was like, well, imagine what Wade would have done. I was always the potential kid, never the one who actually arrived. And like, I'm not a saint or anything. I know I can be a pain, but I actually tried this year. I helped Sabrina with her application, fixed the Wi-Fi when dad broke it, did all the little stuff nobody wanted to bother with. They just don't care. It's like, if you're not Wade, you're just background noise. Even when I got into college, my parents barely said congrats. But when Wade got his big boy job, which is just sales at some random place TBH, they literally threw a party for it. I wasn't even invited, found out on Snapchat. So sitting at the airport, I finally just gave up and ordered an Uber. Cost me 40 bucks I didn't have, but I wasn't going to wait for someone to notice me. The whole ride home, I just kept thinking about that text from my mom. Wasn't even mad, just done. I get to the house, lights are on, I can see through the window. There's a whole party going on. Wade's there, his friends. My parents laughing, music playing. I drag my bag up the steps, ring the bell because I don't have my key anymore. Long story. Dad said I lost it too many times, but whatever. My dad opens the door, looks at me, kinda smirks, and goes, "Well, look who finally showed up." No hug, nothing. I walk in, everyone barely glances at me. Sabrina just rolls her eyes. I go to put my bag in my room and Wade's blocking the hallway, talking loud about his big deal. I try to squeeze past and he shoulder checks me. Not even subtle. I tell him to move. He just grins and says, "Can't you see we're busy?" I just push past him harder than I mean to, and he shoves me back. Bag falls, my stuff spills out. I pick it up. Nobody helps, not even Sabrina. I hear my mom call from the kitchen. "Can someone get the plates?" But she's not talking to me. She's talking to Wade's girlfriend. I shove my bag in my room and slam the door. Nobody comes to check, not even after I kicked the wall out of frustration. I just sit there for a while, scrolling through old messages, seeing all the times I tried to reach out, ask for rides, tell them about my grades. Always left on read, always too busy. Later, I come out to get water and the party's winding down. My dad is half watching a game. Wade's scrolling his phone. My mom's cleaning up. I ask if there's any food left and my mom just shrugs, says should have gotten here earlier. I just laugh like whatever. I go to the fridge. There's nothing, just some old takeout. I sit at the table and my dad goes, "Not everyone gets a parade for showing up, Lorenzo. Maybe next time you'll give us a reason to celebrate." I just lost it. I got up, knocked my chair back, told him I'm sick of being treated like I don't matter, that if Wade's so perfect, he can be their only kid. My dad stands up, gets in my face, says if I don't like it, I can leave. I told him maybe I will. He says, "Go ahead. See how far you get without us." I grab my bag, yank open the door, and just walk out. I didn't even slam it that time. Just left it swinging. I went to a friend's place that night, crashed on his couch. He didn't really get it, just said, "Family's tough, man." I just nodded. But I decided right then, that's it. I'm done being their backup plan, their free tech support, their emotional punching bag. If they want to act like I'm invisible, fine. But I'm not sticking around to be their afterthought anymore. IDK what's supposed to happen next, but that was the last time I tried to earn my spot in this family. Next part. I'll tell you what I did when they finally noticed I was gone. And trust me, it wasn't just ghosting. They don't even know what's coming. Update 1. Alright, so here's where things stop just being sad and start getting kinda real. I left off after that airport mess, right? After that, nothing really changed immediately. If anything, it just got weirder at home. Honestly, it was the little things that kept piling up, not just one big moment. It was like every week they found a new way to remind me I was basically just the spare. So yeah, I did go back to school after winter break, but when I came home that summer, it was the same thing. I'd come in late from the bus and my mom wouldn't even look up from her phone. Sabrina would ask me to fix her laptop or set up her new phone. She always gets the newest. Wade too. I'm rocking the same thing since senior year. But if I say I'm busy, she just rolls her eyes and calls me selfish. Like, I'm literally in the middle of studying for finals and she's mad. I won't drop everything to fix her TikTok notifications. I told her if she keeps slamming my door when she's mad, she can figure out her own tech. She slammed it anyway. Anyway, one night I get home late from a friend's place and Wade's sitting in the kitchen with my dad talking big about this new thing he's doing. I grab water and try to dip, but my dad actually stops me and says, "You should take notes from your brother. He's actually doing something with his life, like in front of Wade." Just like that. Wade just shrugs like it's nothing. I tell them I got a scholarship for next year. Figured maybe they'd care since it saves them money, but my dad just says, "Scholarships are for people who can't get real opportunities." Wade laughs. I just leave the room. So whatever, I start spending less and less time at home. I'm not even angry at this point, just tired. I get a part-time gig off campus and just stay at friends' places as much as possible. I start doing my own thing, but the family keeps pulling me back in when they want something fixed, or when Sabrina needs help with her essays, or when the Wi-Fi dies and everyone freaks out. I go home, fix the router, leave again. They barely say thanks, if at all. At some point, my mom starts making weird comments about money like, "We're not made of it, and you're not the only one who needs help." I overhear her complaining to my dad about how expensive Sabrina's activities are, and then she says, "Maybe we can use what's left in Lorenzo's college fund for—" I'm not even supposed to know about this, but I catch the tail end of their convo one night when I come in for water. I stand in the hallway, just listening, and my dad's saying he's barely using it anyway. Might as well go to someone who'll make something of themselves. I'm just standing there awkwardly, kind of wanting to burst in, but at the same time, what's the point? They always do this. Sabrina's not stupid. She knows she can get away with murder because she's the only girl and the youngest. She starts taking my stuff without asking, then acts like it's no big deal. I tell her to stop. She just shrugs and says, "It's not like you ever use it." I take my stuff back. She slaps my arm. I push her away. She yells for mom, and my mom just says, "Boys shouldn't pick on girls." I leave the house for all this time. Wade's just doing his thing, acting like he's the man of the house. My parents eat it up. He doesn't even help out. He just tells everyone else what to do. His car breaks down. My dad makes a big scene about how responsible Wade is for handling it, but I'm the one who has to drive him to pick up the part. I say no. My dad gets in my face, says, "This is what family does." I say, "Maybe you should ask Sabrina." He pushes me. I shove him back. He slaps the wall right next to my head and storms off. I just leave again. So yeah, I start writing down every single thing I do. Every time I fix something, every time I help Sabrina with school, every time I cover a bill because someone forgot, it goes in my notes. I don't even know why I started doing it. Just felt like I needed proof I wasn't as useless as they kept saying. I save receipts too, in case they ever say I didn't pay for anything. I guess I'm getting petty, but I'm so tired of everyone acting like I'm just leeching off them. The real tipping point was graduation. I wasn't even going to walk, but my friends hyped me up and I figured, whatever, I'll do it for the pics. I tell my family the date, the time, everything. I even text the group chat the week of, just so they have no excuse. Day of, I'm waiting outside after, and not a single one of them shows. I call Sabrina, nothing. I text my mom. She says, "Sorry, Wade needed the car for something important." I ask what could be more important than my graduation. She says, "You're not the only one with a future in this family." I hang up. I go back to my apartment and just sit there. I look at my notes, at all the stuff I've done for them, and I just decide I'm done being their backup plan. I pull up my bank app and realize I've been covering random bills for months. Spotify, phone plans, even some delivery charges that aren't mine. I tell my roommate what's going on. He just says, "Bro, You gotta start charging them for this stuff. I laugh, but then I actually do it. I text the family group chat and say, from now on, I'm charging for my time. Nobody replies except Sabrina. She says, you're so dramatic, nobody cares. So I stop helping. Wi-Fi goes out. I don't answer. Sabrina's laptop breaks. I just say, IDK, maybe Wade can fix it. My mom's Facebook gets hacked. I just shrug. I hear them complaining about me to relatives, saying I'm lazy and ungrateful. My aunt texts me, says, your mom is really stressed. Maybe you could help out more. I tell her what's actually happening. Send her screenshots of me paying the bills, helping Sabrina, all of it. She just replies with a thumbs up. I guess nobody really wants to get involved. At home, the tension is ridiculous. Nobody talks to me unless they want something. One night, Wade tries to take my car without asking. I catch him in the driveway. I tell him no, he says, you owe me for everything I've done for you. I say, like what? He just gets mad, throws my keys at me, and walks off. Next day, my dad tries to ground me. I tell him I'm 20 now and he can't do anything. He tells me to get out if I don't like it, so I do. I pack a bag and leave, slam the door on my way out. So now I'm basically couch hopping, staying with friends, saving every cent. I stop going home except to grab my mail. Every time I do, Sabrina tries to trip me, says, you're tearing the family apart. I just tell her, maybe try fixing your own problems for once. She slams her door again. My mom calls, says, you're being selfish. You'll regret this when you're older. I just hang up. Meanwhile, I hear from my cousin that my parents are using my college fund to help Wade with the down payment. I show up at the house, confront my dad. He just says, we make the decisions in this family, not you. I shove his arm away when he tries to pat me on the shoulder. He pushes me back. I stand my ground. My mom yells at me to calm down, says I'm being ungrateful. I just laugh and walk out. I start telling everyone who will listen what's really going on. I send my notes, receipts, all of it to my other relatives. Not that it changes anything, but at least I know I'm not imagining. My parents start getting calls from family members asking what's going on. My mom tells them I'm going through a phase. Whatever. By the end of that year, I've got my own place, tiny but mine, and I tell my family I'm not doing anything for them anymore. No tech help, no rides, no money. If they want something, they can figure it out. Wade tries to call me one night, says he needs help with something important. I just let it go to voicemail. Sabrina texts me, says, I really need you. I just reply, sorry, busy? I guess you could say that was when I stopped being their punching bag and started actually fighting back. I'm not gonna lie, it felt good for once. But I wasn't done yet. If they thought I was just gonna disappear quietly, they had another thing coming. I started planning how to make it really hurt. Next part, I'll get into how I actually started turning things around, where it wasn't just about saying no, but making sure they felt what I felt. And yeah, it got ugly. Update 2. So what really set things off for me wasn't some movie moment. It was just dumb, regular stuff that finally clicked. Like, one day, I was scrolling the family group chat, and Sabrina's blowing up everyone's phone about how her laptop won't turn on, and she's got a paper due. She starts tagging me over and over. All caps, fix this. I just mute it. Then my dad chimes in, says, Lorenzo, what's the point of you being in college if you can't even help your family? Wade jumps in and says, it's not that deep, just Google it. My mom doesn't even get involved. She just texts me separately, says, can you at least do one thing right this week? IDK, that was just the moment where I went, nah, I'm done being their free tech support. I started slow just to see if they'd notice. So first time the Wi-Fi went down at home, I ignored the texts. Then the group chat starts going off. Dad says, internet's out. Fix it. It's your mess. I didn't reply for 2 days. I show up just to grab some mail and Sabrina's sitting on the floor, mad as hell, says, I missed a deadline because of you. I tell her, maybe you should learn how to reset a router. She throws a notebook at me. I dodge. She tries to slap my shoulder, so I block her arm. She storms out, slams the door. My mom comes in, says, why can't you just help your sister for once? I say, why can't she do anything herself? They all act like I'm just being difficult, but honestly, that's the first time I felt like I had any say in anything in years. I guess I started liking that feeling, so I keep doing it. Sabrina needs help with her college apps. I just say, you're smart, figure it out. She panics, but I'm not budging. Wade tries to get me to edit his resume for him. I tell him, I'm busy, maybe ask Dad. He gets mad, says, you're just jealous I'm getting somewhere. I laugh and leave the room. Mom starts nagging me about chores. I tell her, I'm not even living here anymore. Get Wade to do it. She says, you're so ungrateful after all we've done for you. I say, yeah, like what exactly? The real fun starts when I start documenting everything. Every time I pay a bill, every time I help out, it goes in a spreadsheet. I start saving receipts, screenshots, all of it. Not for them, for me. So I have ammo. One day my mom tries to say, you never help out, you're just a drain. I send her a spreadsheet. She leaves me on read. I start talking to my cousin June. about all of this. She's one of the only people in the family who actually listens, not just pretends to. She tells me, "You should let everyone know what's actually going on." I think about it, and I start sending my spreadsheet and screenshots to my aunt, my mom's sister, just so someone else sees the facts. My aunt calls my mom, asks what's up with Lorenzo always paying for stuff. My mom gets pissed at me, says, "Why are you trying to embarrass us?" I say, "I'm just setting the record straight." Meanwhile, big news comes in the group chat. Wade gets a new apartment. Family's acting like he won the lottery. My parents throw him a party, invite everyone. I'm not on the invite list. I see it on Instagram. Sabrina posts pics, captions it, "Proud of my big bro." I comment, "Thanks for the invite." Wade deletes my comment. I text him. He leaves me on read. At this point, I'm just over it. So I start making things a little more uncomfortable for them. I go into the family group chat and say, from now on, I'm charging for my time. Every time you ask me for tech help, it's $50. Sabrina calls me a jerk. My mom says, "Nobody's going to pay that. Your family." I say, "Then stop asking." They don't take it seriously at first, but then things start breaking around the house. The TV stops working. The Wi-Fi is out again. My dad can't figure out the printer. Classic. Sabrina's phone won't sync her photos. The fridge is acting up. I just ignore all the calls. Wade tries to fix the TV, makes it worse. My mom calls me, says, "I'll pay you 20, just fix it." I say it's 50. She hangs up. Then the money stuff kicks in. I realize I'm still on the family phone plan, so I text my dad, say, "You owe me for the last 4 months." He says, "I thought you were paying since you use the most data." I say, "I haven't lived there in a year. Pay up or I'm switching my number." My dad tries to guilt trip me, says, "Family's about helping each other." I say, "Yeah, but it's not a one-way street." Sabrina starts to panic about her college stuff, says she needs transcripts, recommendation letters, all that. I tell her, "You should have thought about that before you slammed my door in my face." She calls me crying, says, "Please, I really need you." I tell her, "I'll help if you apologize and pay for my time." She hangs up. I start telling other relatives what's actually happening, not just venting, but sending them the actual messages, receipts, all of it. Some believe me. Some say, "Maybe you're being too harsh, but nobody calls my parents out." Whatever, at least they know. With Wade, it gets even better. He starts bragging on socials about all his accomplishments. But half of it is stuff I did for him. Editing his essays, making his presentations, helping him with applications. So I start commenting on his posts. Nice to see my hard work paying off. He messages me, says, "Stop ruining my reputation." I tell him, "Maybe stop taking credit for other people's work." He blocks me. The best part is when my parents start getting late fees on bills I used to cover. I get a call from my mom. She's frantic, says the electric is about to get shut off. "Can I please help?" I tell her, "I'll send you an invoice." She slams the phone down. I could hear it. I get a text from my dad, says, "You're being ridiculous. This is your family." I just let it sit. I hear from June that my parents are actually fighting about me now, saying I'm tearing the family apart, that I've changed, that I'm mean. June just says, "Maybe they should have treated you better." I laugh. So then I get real petty. I go through every shared account I'm on. Not just bills, but stuff like the family Netflix, the music plan, the food delivery logins, all of it. I message them, say, "I'm not paying anymore. Take me off or pay me back." They don't. So I change all my passwords, remove my info, and start new accounts for myself. Sabrina flips out, says, "You ruined movie night." I say, "Maybe it's time for a new hobby." My dad tries to show up at my place one day, says, "Let's talk man to man." I open the door. He tries to step in. I block him. He puts his hand on my chest. I push it off. He gets mad, says, "You're acting like a stranger." I tell him, "You're the one who made me an outsider." He tries to guilt trip me. I just close the door in his face. So yeah, it wasn't just about not helping anymore. It was about making them feel exactly how it feels to be ignored, used, treated like you don't matter. I made sure every inconvenience, every struggle, every moment of panic landed on them for once. I stopped being their safety net. And once they actually started to feel it, they got desperate. Next part is where it goes from petty to serious. I'm talking actual consequences, not just inconvenience. I'll get into how I made sure they could never lean on me again, and how that hit them way harder than any argument or slammed door ever could. Final update. So I always thought the big drama in families was just for TikTok rants or those messy story times, but NGL, sometimes real life drags you into it. This part was never just about me going no contact and pretending they didn't exist. It was about making sure they felt the mess they made. Financially, emotionally, just everything. And honestly, they earned every second. The weirdest part was how normal things looked from the outside, even while all this was going on. I'd see Sabrina's Insta story, her acting like some influencer, posting throwback pics from vacations, pretending everything was goals. Wade still flexing about his wins on Facebook, bragging about his connections. My parents doing those cringe couple selfies, acting like the fam is tight. But the group chat was just pure chaos. Every week someone's mad, bills aren't paid, Wi-Fi's down, nobody knows how to do basic stuff. I just watched it burn. The first real shock for them hit when college aid season rolled around. My mom calls, says, "You need to list us as your support for your forms or it'll mess up Sabrina's funding." I say, "I'm putting zero family support. You're not helping me. Why should I help you?" She freaks out, says, "You're ruining your sister's future." I say, "Maybe you should have thought of that before you emptied my college fund for Wade's down payment." She hangs up, then calls back, screaming. I mute her. I get a call from my dad later that week. He tries the fake calm voice, says, "Let's be reasonable. You don't want to make